waiting for? You're listening to the Triggered Thoughts podcast, blood.
Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome to the Triggered Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Verbz.
Myself, Geniusman.
Yes, people. All you guys are all well. You know what I mean? We're just checking in still. We've got a quick little topic that we thought we'd go over today after the recent events that's been happening within the UK, Southport, Manchester, all these things. But first off, let me ask Genius, how you been, man?
Yeah, I'm good, It's just, it's been a crazy week, man, with so much happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Social media's going mad right now. I haven't even been on it as hard as I have been when I'm trying to do the Triggered Thoughts thing in the last few days. I've been busy, but when I have kind of touched on it quickly, I've seen pure madness going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But listen, let's get back to the subject. So people, this episode's, same thing as usual, but at the same time, this is more of a discussion between me and Genius Dan, addressing and looking into what's going on with the UK. So this discussion is going to be called The Rise of the Right Wing. Yeah. What do you think about that title, Genius?
Serious title. It needs addressing. There's things happening, man. It needs addressing, and we need to be prepared.
100%. Why do you say that we need to be prepared? Just to give a little...
Because you see the thing is with the newspaper and social media, you see they're good platforms that, these platforms can be used to promote, positivity. But when you have people that are bent on causing trouble, they will use it for other means. And, the media is controlled opposition because they only tell you the information that they want you to know. They never tell us what we need to know. They tell us what they want us to know. Big difference, is what I mean? So I saw a title, I uploaded a video, and I had to, when I uploaded the video, I said, nah, man, I have to change this title, but I have to pop the video up and then just amend the title because it was like, it was obviously referring to the young man that obviously killed some of those kids. And it was something illegal immigrant, something, they called him a monster, killed. Yeah. And I said, like, wow. It just stood out to me.
That's standard procedure, isn't it? Look. What you say, stood out to you how?
The title was just, this is what I mean? The simple fact that they put like illegal immigrant and this is what I mean? I was like, wow, this is what I mean? It's enough to incite racism. This is what I mean? So when you have a title like that and then, this is what I mean? Every paper, every news article covered that. This is what I mean? And when you have a title like that, man, you're looking for trouble. You're looking for trouble. This is what I mean? Because even I had to delete a few people off some of my social media platforms, and some of the comments were just really disgusting. And you know what I like? There was a few white people, God bless them, and they were like, "This is not the time. Like, are we worried about skin color, or are we worried about those poor children that have been killed? That have been killed?" And this person was going back and saying to one individual in particular that you're disgusting. Because the person put down, but it's the common denominator, Muslim, illegal immigrant. So I was like, wow. When I saw that, man, I commented and then said to myself, nah, this comment, because they even if you use stupid or whatnot, TikTok, yes, I said, you know what? I just said to him, I commented, then I deleted the comment before it got flagged, and I just said, you know what? I said something and I just deleted. I said, you're blocked. I just blocked him, man. So, then before he got blocked, he was like, but what happens if I'm right? Suppose I am right. What then if I'm right? I was like, yeah, I don't need to hear anything more from yourself, man. So, you're definitely looking for trouble.
Yeah, that's it. Remember when I was telling you on social media, I was saying like when I looked on social media at certain articles that's popped up about like say knife crime and stuff like that. Yeah, it's got like two young black people's faces on there, and I said I've looked at the comments, and the comments are disgusting. You've heard me say that several times during episodes. Those are the kind of comments that I keep seeing. Do you know what I'm saying? So what you saw in that instance is what I see all the time. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just fed up of it, to be honest with you.
It's
People should
shocking.
not be judged by the color of their skin. It's absolutely
Definitely.
disgusting. So I mean, because at the end of the day, we all bleed the same. So I mean,
100%.
I will say it time and time again. None of us are born getting to choose the color that we want to be. Facts.
100.
And and I'll say this again, like I always say it, for the people out there, and I'm sure there'll be some racist people that will watch this. My prayer to you people, I'm not gonna come off with anything that's nasty, the great, because this, I mean, you end up stooping lower. But my prayer for you people out there that judge people for the color of their skin, despise them, hate them, bitter towards them, that you will wake up one morning by some supernatural event or some miracle, and you end up being the color that you despise the most. Wishful thinking, man.
They got a movie like that, innit? I swear they have.
I know there was a Twilight Zone one. There was a Twilight Zone where this man, he was racist. He was in a bar. Oh, if I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. Wait to watch that the other day. The man was in a bar with his friends and he was making some racist comments and he was shouting low in his voice, and then the black guy just turned around and looked at him. He said, "Yeah, but this country, man, is just full of niggas." And the black man looked at him. Anyway, cut long story short, they were eating and obviously the friends were getting ready to go. He's gone out of the restaurant now. He's entered into the Twilight Zone now. You know what happened? There was a train. You know, back then when the Jews and used to be all put in one carriage and getting ready to go off to the execute. What do you call those concentration camps?
Yeah.
He was on the train. Yeah, he all of a sudden he found himself on the train. I'm a white man. I'm not black. But you see what I mean? I need to send it to you, man. But you see what I mean? He got a taste. But anyway, cut long story short, there were different scenarios where he was being hunted down. The Ku Klux Klan chased him down. He goes, "What are you doing? I'm a white man." But they straight him as, you know what I mean? Because it was deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he went into different scenarios. So basically that was showing him what it's like being on the receiving end of being black, but you're white, but you're experiencing what it's like. Well, you're experiencing racism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And cut long story short, it went back to the end. Towards the end, it basically showed him on the train and he was heading off to the concentration camp with it was all with Jews and they were all looking at him. He was with Jews and he was trying to shout his way through his friends. His friends left the restaurant now. He's like, hey. He's like, hey. They couldn't see him. They were like talking, but yeah, they couldn't see him.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's deep. Yeah. And I always say that, man. I think, when someone has an experience like that, or, they get to experience the same abuse and racist rants and chats that they do, when they experience it themselves, it's only when you experience certain things for yourself, then you will know what it's like. You see what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm like, yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good.
Yeah. Some people have it through their children, though. They're that way and they end up meeting a person of color and having children. And when they have children, especially boys, and the boys get to turn to teenagers and go out into society and encounter things like the police and the brutality starts towards their children, that's when they understand, like, the shit is really real. You get me? You know?
Yeah.
But listen, let's fire away because, obviously people, there's that crazy incident that's happened this week with the incident in Southport, where I believe it was a dance school or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I say anything. It was a dance school that was attacked by a young man who went in there and attacked children with a knife, and some of the staff members. He killed, 3 children?
Yeah, that's the death toll now is 3. Yeah, it's 3.
Right. So he killed 3 children. I think he injured a member of staff as well. I think there was quite a few people who were injured by his knife antics. Shocking story. You know what I mean? Very shocking story. I don't know, like, to think that something like that can happen to young children, where people have taken their young children to a dance school and that type of risk has occurred and the poor parents have lost their children, it's completely unacceptable. Do you know what I mean? So we at the Triggered Thoughts podcast would like to say our condolences. Not that it's going to make much of a difference, but we empathize with you, man. So our condolences to any of the parents, children that have lost friends, staff members that have now lost, children that they had relationships with and stuff like that. All those that it's impacted, local community, the police, the ambulance, all those that were involved that didn't need to see that horrific event occur. We're sending out our condolences, man, and, we hope as a collective, the people of Southport, especially around that area, can find some sort of strength, togetherness, unity, and just, repair or heal from that situation. You know what I'm saying? The shocking part for me about that situation was the way that obviously this boy was underage, but the way that the mainstream media refused to give any information as to who this person was. It led to, I don't know who did it, but it led to basically false names and false images of people coming out, and the right-wing people got a hold of this and were believed to, they believed that it was a older Muslim man who claimed to be 17, but the picture that I saw, he looked like he was about 30. Do you know what I mean? Of him being held in a car bonnet. So obviously the right-wingers, they got pissed off, and then it ended up with this whole rioting thing. And then eventually the mainstream media or police decided to release this person's name because they were 17 years old and they were 6 days away from turning 18. So they said that they'd give this person's information. And the crazy thing about it as well is the picture that they chose to show to represent him, which is a childhood picture. I've never seen that in my life. You ever seen that, Genius?
I haven't, no.
I mean, that picture looked like he was about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's a Rwandan immigrant of Rwandan parents. I don't know if you can remember the name of him because, but yeah, it was just all crazy. The way that they delayed that and allowed this fake name to come out, which caused more uproar in the community. Then the right wingers came out and, started throwing bricks at the police and all hell broke loose. Do you get what I'm saying? Now there's been protests in London. There's been protests all over the place with the so-called Tommy Robinson fan base. He's obviously gained a voice again, hasn't he? I mean, what I would like to make clear is that this young guy, we don't condone his behavior. Not that we have to sit here and say that, but I feel I want to make it clear. I won't defend this young guy in no way, shape or form. Whether it's mental health, whatever he wants to run through the system, that's entirely up to them. What I will say is, it's very odd how I've never accepted the mental health argument. If you murder people, children, old people, whatever, women, whatever, the mental health argument to me, if you did that, I'm sorry, man, you still have to take accountability, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Plus, the system in England, if you've got mental health and you've been displaying that and then you've carried out a frenzied attack on anybody, the system should have been able to identify that you had mental health issues before and were able to assess you and diagnose you and give you the right treatment before that occurred. The mental health system is obviously broken, which is why people are going out there and causing or committing these attacks. And then they're coming out with the whole mental health talk. But I don't condone the mental health talk, regardless of whether it's this guy. But what I will find that's funny is that when the situation in Hainaut happened, and it was that white Brazilian geezer that more or less decapitated the 14-year-old boy's head off of his shoulders in broad daylight and was able to stab several officers and that, and didn't end up being shot by armed response. Armed response didn't come until after he was arrested. They did the same thing with him. They delayed his identity. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do remember that clearly.
Yeah, they delayed his identity even though you physically saw him. And then when they did decide to reveal his identity and show a picture of him, there were somewhat heroic type pictures with him with dozens of gold medals around his neck, like he's some type of former Olympian or some shit like that. Remember that?
It's crazy, remember?
Like, all of a sudden now, when it's this young chap, no excuses for him because what he done is fuckery, you know, there's no, we're not having the mental health argument at all. Fuck the mental health thing. Do you know what I mean? And all of this shit, it's very hypocritical when the skin color changes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And did we, in saying that, did we see any riots? What this guy did?
Any what?
Did we see any riots?
With the Hainaut geezer? No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
You remember the woman that killed all those babies, that nurse?
Yeah.
Was there any riots then?
Nope.
But this I'm trying to say now, and obviously once again, we at the Triggered Thoughts podcast, we don't condone any violence. Wrong is wrong, period. Doesn't matter the color, skin, race, religion, irrelevant. But at the same time, if you're going to judge a situation, judge fairly. Just what I mean, if you're going to do something, you know, the same way that you go extra hard at exposing a black person or someone, you know, of a particular religion, do it for the same race as well. You know what I mean? Don't be impartial. You know what I mean? Because it's wrong, man. You know what I mean? It's wrong. Because my question is, had the skin color been a white person, would it? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, would it be the same result? Would there be riots? I'm just saying. I don't. Just what I mean. I'm just looking at it like that.
Obviously, they'd be pissed off that it was kids or whatever, but I don't think there'd be riots to this degree at all.
Yeah.
You know what? Cause there's speaking of this, there's a very, and I must say it, I'm going to say it how it is and try to be as respectful as I can, but there's a very, sad reality that there are some British people out here, whether they're right wing, whatever they are, European white British people out here that keep hearing say the same thing like they're singing from the same hymn book. And the sad reality is that there's British people out here that actually go on television or go on interviews or do a blog and they actually believe that before immigrants came here, there was no form of criminal activity like this. And I find it
ignorant mindset to have, man.
Ignorant, diabolical, daft, and illiterate as hell, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't need to go into stats to prove anything to nobody, but how can you say such a thing? Because as far as I'm concerned, there's good and bad in everybody. That goes without saying, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Good and bad in everybody.
Yeah.
You know, for instance, I Googled a Google search today because we know Tommy Robinson and them people like to always say that the Asian Muslims are sexually abusing young girls or young white girls, whatever they say, young girls, let's say young girls. That's what he keeps on spouting in the UK. Muslim grooming gangs, that's all we hear. So I Googled today on Google, which is a controlled search engine, that for me, when I've looked up certain information on Google that exposes, let's just say, the difference between how a demographic of people are treated that are from a color background and a demographic of people are treated that are from a white background, Google's controlled because sometimes it don't give you the right information. When I look on another search engine, I get the right information. You get me?
Mm.
So I think Google does that sometimes to not cause a backlash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Piss off the white people of Britain, so to speak. Anyway, I did a Google search today and I asked Google, which demographic of people are highly involved in the sexual abuse of children, and it said white.
Wow.
Then it said black, Asian, and then black. But when it mentioned Asian and black, it said that there's reason to believe that the statistics on Asian and black have been exaggerated, but it's majority white people.
Wow.
But I knew this beforehand. Globally, not just UK, globally.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And this isn't
Serious,
attacking,
man.
this isn't attacking all white people. Let's just speak the facts. So when people like Tommy Robinson and these British people, the press, whatever, come and keep saying this thing of, oh, before these people came here, this weren't going on or whatever, there's always been any people but white European people raping other white European women, sexually abusing other white European children or whatever children, selling drugs, shipping in firearms and weapons, all kinds of crimes, crime, car theft, burglary, murder, serial killing attacks. There's always been examples of that. So why are these people sitting there talking like since immigrants came on the soil, or as they safely say now to, cover themselves, illegal immigrants come on British soil, all these things have been spiraling out of control and we want our old Britain back. It's just crazy to me. What do you think about that, cuz?
It speaks for itself, innit? Speaks for itself. And, it's the media for you. I can't.
But ordinary ones are saying it too. Not all, but quite a few I've heard. But there's ordinary white people saying it too. Of course, again, there's some good white people out there because I've seen it in marches and that, where people are interviewing people passing by that are going against Tommy Robinson and saying that all he's trying to do is use this opportunity to promote division and hatred towards immigrants and racism. Yeah, you get me?
Yeah.
So there's some good white, before I even saw those interviews, I already know there's some good white people out there, just like there's some good any other people out there that will represent in the right way. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm just saying there seems to be a lot of white people that are British that are talking this same stupid talk that these crimes weren't about until immigrants landed on the soil. And I just find it crazy.
Yeah, that's not right. That definitely needs correcting, man. That narrative there. Is that what I mean? Because because even sometimes I see comments. I think I don't know if you saw the one with Manchester Airport where the police officer kicked him in the face and stamped on his head.
Yeah.
And the British people are furious. Oh, they need to get them out of the country. They're disrespecting our officers. You don't like the law. Leave the country, but then on the other hand, you're throwing bricks and attacking the police. Like it
make sense.
Just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like they don't get me wrong. I don't condone. Look, I don't really like the police. I'm gonna be real. You know this already. Because of my experiences, and when I'm at work working with younger people, I see how the police deal with them when they're of color too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like them because I think they're very discriminative. Not all, but I think a high number of them. Yeah, but there is some occasional good officers I do come across. Do you know what I'm saying? But even though I dislike the police, I would never see fit to start raining blows on police officers, even if they piss me off, like I'm a UFC fighter and they're my opponents. I wouldn't be doing that, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, as much as I dislike them, you have to have that tiny level of respect where you'd say, look, these people are upholding the law. You know, and as a black man, if I raise my hands and put my hands on them, I'm expecting if I violate them in that manner, I'm going to be shot dead.
Yeah.
Even if I weren't shot dead, I just don't think I'd be doing that anyway.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I saw these guys attacking the officers like that, not just the woman thing, the woman just happened to be there. I don't think the man thought, oh, she's a woman, I'm going to punch her. There's no time to think. He just got pissed off and he started throwing. And she was there. But it's like they're picking that point to make an example. But at the same time, I don't defend those guys or that guy for what they done, because you should never get yourself to a space where you feel that you can throw hands on the police. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
That's what I think, innit? Do you know what I mean? But it's inexcusable what they done. But at the same time, even though it's inexcusable what they done, like you said, the same people pointing the finger at them and saying, get out of the country, they got no respect, rare. The Tommy Robinson croonies and the right-wing British people, they're the same people when they're doing their protests and the police come, they're kicking, punching, throwing bricks, throwing bottles, throwing cocktails and fire and all kinds of shit at the feds. And they're known for that. They do that on a weekly basis, because remember, they're like what they call the Football Lads Alliance or something like that. So they're all football hooligans all merged into one. Football hooligans from all different teams all over the country merged into one, yeah? So on a weekly basis, when the season starts in August, yeah, all the way till it finishes the following year in May, those guys, every time they go to a match, that's what they do to the feds on a weekly basis on the way to football matches, bruv.
Wow.
Do you get what I'm saying? But they're telling you that you shouldn't be doing that. Then set an example, bruv.
Very true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Set an example. If you're British and you're supposed to show British people what it is, because you follow the law of the land, why don't you show the immigrants how to behave?
Yeah.
You get me?
It's true.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, so this is crazy times, but people, I'm going to drop something towards you as well, Dan, man. Like, when I'm seeing all of these footages and stuff, I'm not going to lie. I grew up in a time where it was the 90s and I saw the end of racism. I've mentioned in a previous podcast that I was run down by football hooligans when I was at primary school age. And then when I got bigger, I attacked them back. It was a nice time to be in terms of growing up as a child and playing on the block. But that part there, that example that I gave you, was horrific, scary, nasty to know that there's big adults that would want to kill you because of the color of your skin when you're young. Yeah. It feels like we're embarking on returning to that point in time. And I'm quite concerned for our kids, that with all this shit going on and the way the government mismanages it and the way the media misrepresents it and feeds the horrible side of it and stuff like that, I'm very concerned that our kids that are reaching ages where they're about to turn into young men and young women are going to be subjected to some serious shit. A lot of us modern parents haven't sat down and had the racist experience conversation with our kids because we felt like we didn't have to, because there's all this promotion of one people, one race, despite the dynamics and that's gone on out there. But now it seems like it's getting worse and people are going to have to start sitting down and having conversations that are uncomfortable with their children in order to allow them to be aware of what's going on and save their neck in case they ever end up in a situation where they turn around the corner and they end up being in a situation where they're about to be attacked by a group of racist yobs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
And it seems like that's where we're heading, because Tommy's spinning this thing. Nigel Farage is spinning this thing. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a whole heap of them that are spinning this thing. You know what I mean? And it's anti-Islam, anti-black, anti-immigrant, everything to do with color and the opposite religion and so on, it's anti. You know what I mean? And sometimes I think like even us as black people, we got to take some accountability for feeding into that narrative. And I honestly think that Muslim people, have to take some accountability for feeding that narrative too, because I think there's certain things that we do as a collective community of people that allows these people to feel like they can take that and run with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when we have all our youngsters on the road carrying machetes and they're not really being held accountable properly by the community, that feeds the narrative of the right wing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even though the white boys stab each other too, they're going to put it down to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you might have Muslims doing things like they believe in, the whole Palestine versus Israel debate. Yeah. They back Palestine. So on certain roads in the UK where there's a majority of Muslim Asian people, you're going to see Palestinian flags stuck on a flagpole in the middle of the street or tied to a shop or attached to cars or whatever, And because of that belief and because that area is predominantly Asian Muslim, it's going to make the right-wing people look at it like, what the fuck's going on with our country?
I heard comments like that already.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that we should, that they should stop supporting Palestine, but I was just giving a mild example because I don't want to get too technical with the whole Muslim thing because I'm not trying to attack Muslims and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to attack them. Do you get me? I've got friends and family and all that are fully involved in this thing. So I'm just kind of being mindful of my words. But obviously when we say there's good and bad in everybody, as much as I've blatantly said that white people are responsible for sexual abuse of children, globally, they represent the higher portion of people that carry out this act. There's good and bad in everybody. Therefore, Asians are highlighted as people that carry out those crimes too. And I think maybe the Muslim community should hold those people more accountable for what they're doing. If you know what I'm saying. Not just to please white people, because the white right wingers, fuck them. I'm just saying, just in general, make sure that the message that you put out there is more, we're against, so we're doing what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You get me? So I just think like we kind of slide and let things kind of just be, where we could challenge it more. And these are things that these right wingers, they take it and they run with it and they make it something.
Yeah.
That situation with Southport, I know that's beyond mine and your control. We don't raise our kids like that. Do you get me? At all. But that situation there now is going to make these right-wing idiots think that every black person that has a teenage child is capable of doing that. That's how shallow they are. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
And because of that, if other things start to occur of similar seriousness, we're going to have a race war very fast. Remember, we didn't have one that long ago, During lockdown with the George Floyd thing, when the statues were being attacked and them same right wingers came out to defend the statues. What happened that day, bruv?
It was pandemonium. I remember that still.
I was watching that live. Black man was running around looking for them mans.
It's true.
Them right wing man, looking for them and bracking them up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this situation could get very peak. And even though it doesn't involve me and you, Genius, and we don't necessarily stand for going out there and committing violent acts like that in public spaces or whatever, not. If those kind of things happen again, it's going to impact me and you when we decide we're going to go for a walk in central London, or we're going to go for a walk here and there. If those things keep happening, you're going to get to a point where the police, who operate almost like right wingers, are going to use that as an opportunity to stop and search black man.
It's happening already, isn't it?
Yeah, with reason to believe that you're going out there to try and incite violence against the right wingers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then also, even if you're not going out there to do that as well, genius, it's going to leave you in a position where you're going to be paranoid. So when you're paranoid and you're going out, you're going to be aware, because you're going to have to train your mind to say, I can get jumped literally back to the 90s and 80s. I can get attacked by these people at any given moment. I need to train my mind to be aware. Maybe I need to carry a little something on me. So if I do turn around the corner and there's Yob standing there and they come for me, I've got a fighting chance. Do you get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, that's mad.
So even if you are a good citizen, you could be thrown into that situation. You could say, Genius, I'm gonna go out with my boys today. I'm gonna go to the park. Let me go down to Woolwich Park. You bust the corner, bam, bag of right wingers there. Not even loads. It could be 3 or 4. You got your son. You're gonna have to try and tell your son, like, let's get out of there, man. If you see it early enough. But if there's no time for you to be able to get out there, you're gonna have to swing.
Yeah. That's mad. That's deep.
That's like really the 90s, bruv.
Yeah, that's mad.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I got run down a few times and I escaped. But as I got older and certain of them tried to run me down again, I was swinging, carrying things, busting their head with old glass Lucozade bottles and all these kind of things. You get what I'm saying? We don't need to go down to that place again. We don't need to revisit that time. You get me? But it's looking and it's smelling and it's spiritually feeling to me like we're entering that time, bruv. You get me?
But yeah, bloody hell, man. That's deep. Oh, God, you got me thinking, man.
It's sad.
Oh, no, God.
You're going to have to retrain your kids.
Yeah.
Depending on what school you go to, because of these right-wingers with this mindset now, it's gonna spread into other European white people's mindset, and they're gonna tell it to their kids, and their kids might go to school with your kid, and then your kid could end up being attacked because that little boy has been taught shit by their mum. That's how racism works, isn't it? When I was in school and certain white boys was calling us racist names in school and that, it's because their mum and dad spoke like that and told them, I don't hang around with them nignogs and, do you get what I'm saying? So then when the kid, even though they liked you, when they were pissed off with you or whatever, like, are you nignog? And you're not fighting, bruv. But it's not the little kid's fault. It's what he's been programmed to believe at home.
Yeah, it's mad.
But even though it's not his fault, when he says those racist names and he aims them at your child, as much as it's not his fault, that's not your child's concern or your concern as the parent. Your concern automatically has to be now, well, that's going to damage my child mentally, bruv. Spiritually. Because my child was playing with him and looked at him like we're all the same. And that whole time, you was looking at my son like he's not the same. And to the point where you racially abused him. Now your son's going to go home paranoid and probably second guess, because it's human nature. Second guess or ask you if you've raised them well and they've got a good relationship with you. Dad, what? I just want to talk to you about something. What is it, son? I'm not really sure that I want to hang around with white people again, because when he said that, it really hurt my feelings, it upset me.
That's deep.
What do you say then, blood?
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be, boy. Yeah, that's a very, very good question still.
That's what I'm saying. They impact people, bro. So as much as we want to talk about, one human race and rarer. The moment a child is racially abused, that feeling that you get, bruv, it doesn't make you the same again.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I'm not saying it makes you angry or you want to go out and club at every white person that you believe is a right winger inside. I'm not saying it does that, but it will make you very reluctant to want to hang around with another one because this one made you feel very, very vulnerable and disrespected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. We're living in some sad times in Britain, man. I'm not even going to lie. I'm actually even considering, is it a thing where I might have to just get the passport ready for the whole family and everything there and go look for an alternative country where, you know, I might have to set up shop because...
Are you serious? Have you thought of that, yeah?
England, it's in the back of my mind. England's going mad.
Yeah,
you can't see this
shit.
You can't see the shit that you're seeing now, cuz, and think to yourself, and not think to yourself as a person of color. Even if you don't actively plan, I'm saying, it must pop in the back of your head. Do you know I might have to actually consider moving?
Yeah.
In order to keep my kids safe, I might have to go to another country, bruv.
That's deep.
Do you get me?
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
It's the reality. You know what I mean? Because the free speech is going mad. There's more writing. Bro, it's like it's carnage. I look at this shit. I don't even read the Bible deep like that. Although I was born in Christianity. But I'm just saying, I look at this shit through Instagram and all I think about is this is the type of shit that the Bible was telling man about.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah, end times, yeah.
It's just madness everywhere, bro. Like, people are pissed off with this person. I saw a video clip. I'm going to do a video on it later. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I see a video clip of some woman reporter that talks on something called Talk TV. They got a channel on YouTube, but I think they're a radio channel. And this woman, she talks kind of like she might be a right winger. She kind of reminds me of Katie Hopkins. She don't look like her, but has those kind of views. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this woman said, when she said, what's the country coming to? I'm going to say something that's going to probably upset people, but I don't care. I have to think about the future of myself and my safety. I'm walking down the street, she says, and there's an Afghan man with his little Afghan hat seeing me and he's calling me and I'm walking away from him. And then I had to walk into my neighbor's house that lived closer to my house just to make him think I lived there so he'd go away. And he's like touching himself inappropriately, you know what I mean? While I've gone into the yard or whatever. When I'm walking down the street, there's these different foreign type of men that are calling me and following me because they see that I got blonde hair and a white English lady and they're trying to approach me in some sexualized manner like I'm a sexual toy or something. He said it keeps on happening. He said back in the day when I used to walk around, you used to get the builders doing the wolf whistle from their van, but you know what, like it was just a wolf whistle. They didn't come out and follow me all the way to my doorstep or whatever. And sometimes their wolf whistle will brighten up my day. But she said that there's people coming from different necks of the woods who have a very poor attitude towards women and a poor attitude towards sex. And they are coming into this country and they're approaching blonde white women like myself in a way where they can have their wicked way with me. And I'm now fearing for my safety. That's what she's basically saying.
That's messed up, man. Bloody hell.
You get me?
You have to send me this thing, man. That's messed up.
I'll send you it. But what I would say is this. What do you think of that statement, first and foremost?
It's very ignorant. That's what I think of that statement. It's because you're labouring a particular race or people when that can actually be associated to the same nationality and race that you are as well.
Good
and
point. It's
actually known that there are white people that rape people as well, and so it's oh man, this is terrible, man.
Good, that's a very good point. However, I would say that some points that she made, even though it was very abrupt, and again, she's acting like white people don't indulge in rape or courting women or, you know what I mean, that kind of borderline behavior. of course we know that white people do that too. Come on, bruv. That goes without saying. We've seen that shit for time. You can't tell us no different. But there are certain people that come from certain countries that do have a bit of a poor attitude towards women and do put their hands on women and do. So I can kind of understand where she's coming from. However, she should have said that about maybe all males in general rather than fitting it in a, you know what I'm saying to you, a certain demographic. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where I think she's messed up with that one. But at the same time, I do understand her point a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Because also, like, there's people that come into England and they've not been checked. That's my thing. No matter where you come from, could be Ireland, could be. A lot of us, if we come into England, have to go through stringent checks. There's people that have been coming here from Poland, Romania, and they're not getting no checks. What's happening is, once they commit a mad crime and the police have got them, then they'll say, let me liaise with their home office about this person. Because remember, a lot of times these people come here on false names and all sorts. They dash away their documentation and try to claim new name when they come here, you know. You know what I mean? So, like, when they get caught, let's just say they tried to rape a woman, they got caught, they're in police custody now. What you'll find is the police will be like, or the government or whatever, let's liaise with the home office in Romania and try and find out more about this guy. And when they check it out now, they'll realize he's got a string of sexual abuse or rape cases in his country, but he entered England in a different name and he wasn't checked. You know what I mean?
It's mad, yeah.
That's the problem.
Mad.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
You know, I think if you let people in, you have to do stringent checks, bruv. I've worked in a place before where a geezer came in to live in a children's home and he was claiming that he was 15 years old, bruv. If you saw the shape, if you saw the shape, he was a short youth because he was like from Iran. So he was pretty short. But if you saw the stature of this guy and the solidness of him, he wasn't hench, but he was like a chubby kind of thing, but he was solid. He had shoulders, a thick neck, his arms was quite muscular, you get me? And he was hairy, like proper hairy, and he had like a couple attempted bodge tattoos on his body and stuff like that. But I could look at his face, his beard, his skull structure, everything, and I was like, this guy is not 15 years old, bruv. You get me?
Yeah.
And then when I brought him to the dentist one time, the dentist whispered to me and said, this guy's got like teeth like a 40-year-old. You get me? But them times there, if they told you a lie about their age, the government, because they came in with no document, the government had to treat it. But this guy was living in a children's home with other actual young people when he's a big man, bruv. Suppose he was
one of them,
gay rapist.
Jesus Christ, yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's mad,
rapist, bruv.
Yeah, that's
and
mad.
then when the staff's gone to sleep or whatever, and he's gone to sleep, he broke into one of these rooms and raped them because he's got the power and the physicality of an older man, so he can hold them down and do it. It's all risky business, bruv. You know what I mean? You know? So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's sad times, man, and I just think people, I believe in one race. I believe in that. I believe
likewise as well.
Yeah, a united form of humanity. I believe in that. However, you can't deny that there's people out here that don't like you for whatever reason. Not just because of your characteristics, more don't like you on appearance because your skin color is different. You know what I mean? Or don't like you because you're a Christian. You understand? Or whatever. There's people that don't like you immediately as they see you for your skin color. And you have to be real with yourself. So you can't run out here thinking everybody's going to have the same rhetoric as you do when it comes to thinking about one race.
Facts, it's true.
Yeah. And you can raise your kids on the one race ideology too. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But what I will say is, especially if you got boys, girls too, really and truly, but especially if you got boys, you need to tell them what's out there, like, especially now what we're approaching. You got to start telling them what's out there. Listen, son, you're black, and I hate to say it to you, But you might face a situation that other people don't face where you could be at risk, whether it's your life or you just get attacked to live to see another day. But you could be at risk if you just are in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And I need to show you this because I need you to be so aware when you're out there in the street and not put yourself in positions when you're out by yourself in the dark in areas of risk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need to put you in a position where you're very aware, because it's not when I'm talking to you like this, son, I could be talking to you like this and you're looking at me thinking I'm just talking about gangs and ops. No, blood.
Yeah.
How about if I tell you the police car that pulls up to you in this time that we're approaching in, they do it anyway, but it might get worse. The police car that pulls up to you might be the ones that will racially violate you, bruv.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you even need to know how to handle them when they approach.
Yeah, likewise, I'm gonna have the conversation with my son as well. You make some very good points, you know. He doesn't, he's unaware of this. I need to let him know, man. About racism, teaching, man.
You might have to show him appropriate videos that he can manage mentally as well, where he can see the example. Because you can sit here and say that it's all about one race and whatever, and it is, yeah. Ideally it is, but in reality, there's people out here and systems out here that don't like you, and we're entering a mad time. Let your kids know what go on, because if you choose not to, and you choose to sit down and be on that one race thing, if your child ends up in a situation where that conversation that you had with them would have made them alert when danger came, and it saved their life, or they end up passing away or being hospitalized because of it, I'm telling you, you're going to kick yourself because you left the child in a disadvantaged position.
Yeah.
What you would hope is that you pump that stuff into your child and give them that awareness so they understand and recognize what they need to do to keep themselves safe in a public space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And they never ever have to use it because the situation doesn't come. That's the ideal situation you'd want for your youth.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah,
but
man.
This feels like we're entering, like I said, the 80s or 90s again, bruv. There's a likelihood that if this kind of shit continues in the next 3 to 4 years, and we get another one of these so-called kiddie stabbings, or a English white woman is murdered by a Romanian or African immigrant, yeah, you're going to start seeing people attacking people with social media, and then these idiotic MPs, the Nigel Farages, that little batty old Tommy Robinson, he's not an MP, just a leader of a right-wing fascist gang. Them people are going to feed it so much. There's going to be attacks, bruv. You're going to see a madness.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if your kid is of color, when I say your kid is of color, I don't just mean black. Black especially, even Romanian, Pakistani, Asian, mixed race, whatever. As long as you got some olive glow, blood.
Yeah.
If your child has got olive glow, show them. You might get discriminated against. This is how you need to manage it. But black people,
well said, Verbz.
Don't kid yourselves, man. Make sure you ante your youths up mentally for what could possibly be.
Well said, man. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's very important, bruv. Very important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Remember, our kids already have to deal with the dilemma of keeping themselves safe against other kids that look like them, that carry machetes as long as their leg might approach them. On top of that now, you're going to have possibly fascist, racist people, whether they're kids, whether they're teenagers, whether they're big old granddad type men, or whether they're the feds. You're going to have that to contend with as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, listen, man, people, just do what's right for your children, man. Ante them up so they're not victims. That's all I'm trying to say. It's important.
Yeah, man.
What do you think, Genius?
Well said, man. I'm gonna have that conversation tomorrow, man. I'm gonna have, nice one, man. You got me thinking deep now.
Yeah,
You
man,
got me
that's
thinking,
anti-up,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
man.
I've been
Nice one,
anti up
Verbz.
mine, but they ain't really been taking it serious because they got loads of different coaches and friends. So they're like, oh, yeah, I know what you're saying, Dad, but it is. But I'm gonna have to sit them down and have a proper talk. We're embarking on a
Yeah,
time now.
100%. Yeah,
So
man.
yeah.
Verbz. Well done, man.
Respect,
Powerful.
man. Respect,
People.
respect.
I'm taking on board, what Verbz said. I'm gonna have that conversation with both my children because obviously they're at the age of understanding, and I think likewise you need to educate your children because it's true. There's when it comes to discrimination, there's no age, there's no gender. Everybody gets it, and you've heard it. You've seen these movies, you've seen the films, seen reality. Young children get attacked. Look at the situation in Birmingham, Verbz. The young man that got chased down. He did stand a chance. Grown-ass men as well.
Which
A
one?
black boy in Birmingham. They chased him, and then obviously they never got any justice. Remember, he was running, and there was a lot of white old men and young men chasing him. And I don't know what I can't remember they did. I can't remember if they stabbed. Yeah, do you not remember that case in Birmingham?
Oh yeah. That case. I forgot what his name is. Yeah, I know what you're talking. The one in Erdington. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, that's a prime example.
Yeah.
That's a prime example. What you said, like, man, how do you defend? Yourself. You're 15 and there's a grown man. Like, how?
Remember, my classic example is this. Let me give you this classic example. I can't remember the year, and I would Google it, but I don't want to look unprofessional right now. I'll Google it. But I'll just say to you, I'm sure it was like maybe early 2000s, yeah, or whatever. Not.
Load it when you release the video. Put it in the box.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. The geezer in Manchester. I think his name was Anthony Walker. Don't quote me, but I'm sure he was about 15 years old. They did a documentary on him, I think, over the last 2 years, where they started him off as a big man, and then it went backwards to the time where he was actually murdered. So it was what he would have been like if he was older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, he was obviously taught by his family about one human race. Yeah. He was seeing a white girl. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was walking down the road to take his girlfriend, I believe, to the bus stop. Yeah. And there's a football player called Joey Barton, who is a nasty, aggressive, horrible geezer. You know what I mean? He's got racist, even though they hide it. Yeah. And his cousins, two white guys, saw Anthony walking past with his white girlfriend, and they attacked him. You know how they found Anthony, bruv? On the floor, the axe stuck in his head. Don't let that be your youth, blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah?
Nice one, Verbz, yeah.
All right, big up though, man. So we'll see you next week on the Triggered Thoughts podcast. Before that, I'm going to say good night from me, Verbz.
Yeah, so myself, Geniusman, signing out. Verbz, thank you for a very powerful insight, for the information. And people, stay safe out there, man. And to all you racists, go to hell.
All you racists, get a life, man. Stop trying to put everybody in a fucking box and act like none of no white people do any crimes. It's ridiculous. When you open your mouth, no one believes you. You sound daft. You sound stupid. All
racists commit crimes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All racists have good people and bad people. Stop acting like you're the holy grail, because you're not, bruv. Allow it. You know what I mean? Be real, man. You're only lying to yourselves. You know what I mean? So listen, people, big up. Yeah. Verbz, people, have a good evening. We'll catch up till the next time with Triggered Thoughts podcast.
If you're interested for
That's the
Triggered Thoughts
podcast,
blood.
Yeah.